And what's happening out there, guys? Welcome along to another episode of Martin's World. Guys, it is 4:20, it's Friday, and it's high day. Got me all tool of the civil disobedience here alongside me, so I can participate in the 420 festivities as they happen. I have a bit of news lined up for you today, guys, as always, as it is the 420 news, brought to you by Martin's World. And I'm your host, Martin Condon. And guys, if you want to support the show, if you want to support the fight for cannabis legalisation in Ireland, you can do so by signing up to the patreon.com/Martin's World. You can also make donations in the form of bitcoins through a link on martinsworld.ie. So guys, I've a good bit of news actually to get through there today, but before I get into that, I'm just going to empty out my bowl here as I forgot to empty it, and I forgot to pack it actually, more importantly. So don't overpack it, or do you? Yes, sir. Got that packed up there, guys. Get your greens into you, 5 a day or more if you got it. And smooth. Oh, phew! I thought I forgot my lighter. Got my trusty old lighter there. So guys, I'm going to blaze one up and then we're going to get tearing into the news. Shout out to Keith there, who's the first to drop a comment today. So that's happening, Keith. Guys, if you got him out there, blaze him up. Shout out to the Twitch, YouTube and Facebook followers. Guys, keep it blazed. Happy days. Just a little bit of civil disobedience to get the show going, guys, as it is Friday, guys. So hope you I hope you've had a good week out there, guys. I know I've had a pretty okay week anyway, nothing bad has went down. So no news is good news. So the first news on the agenda today, guys, is it's basically it's within Cork or within Ireland, and it's that the Ireland's Medicinal Cannabis Access Program has finally gotten funded. So the Medicinal Cannabis Access Program, which was originally launched in June 2019, has finally been funded. So it's been in place now over a year and a half, and the guys didn't even stick their hands into their pockets above in government to do something about this program. And here we are wondering all along why there are no patients actually getting access through the Medicinal Cannabis Access Program. It's because they weren't funding it all along. Like, they had no interest at all. Like, not only was the willpower not there from the government, but literally they weren't actually putting money there at all to help it get funded. So while some people will be celebrating this as good news, guys, this is nothing to be celebrated, because this fucking Medicinal Cannabis Access Program is the most restrictive cannabis access program out there, outside of prohibition, which is supposed to prevent the access, but sorry, it doesn't do it. But it's highly restrictive. Still only 3 conditions can get access to it, only after the traditional or the kind of frontline medicines have failed for those peoples. So these are people with spasticity related to multiple sclerosis. So it's not even due to pain with multiple sclerosis, just spasticity. Then you've only nausea to do with the chemo for cancer patients. So people who experience nausea, if the conventional medicines that are there to combat nausea fail for them, then and only then will they be allowed access to cannabis. That's fucking discrimination. That's ridiculous. Here, you can have these toxic pills here that do with your nausea, and no, don't talk about this cannabis at all until you try this toxic crap first. Like, what if a person wants to choose plants over pills? Well, where's the freedom of choice here at all? Where's our choice to choose our medicine, really, at the end of the day? Because the doctors, the health professionals, it's ridiculous what they're doing out there, and the conversations that are taking place. Like, patients being told, oh no, I can't apply. And meanwhile, they can. Every doctor, every consultant out there can be applying for their patients if they want to, but none of them want to do it because they're fearful that they'll be targeted and they'll have their licenses taken off them. It's ridiculous that there isn't more doctors speaking up saying, hey, I've patients suffering with X, Y, and Z. They're asking me day in, day out about cannabis, but no, doctors don't want to do this. They don't want to put their head out there. They don't want to be the doctor associated with cannabis. But that's a pity, because it's detrimental then to the campaign and to patients getting access to the medicine that's going to benefit them. Absolutely ridiculous. The final condition there then is epilepsy that's treatment resistant. Again, they have to exhaust the frontline medicines there before they're given access to this one. It should be the other way around, really, when you think about it. Cannabis being a plant, kind of not as toxic as it's non-toxic, really, when you think about it in the way in which it goes through the body. It doesn't really build up and cause toxicity in any organs or any issues like that. At least nothing that I'm aware of, except when you smoke it, obviously. Smoking anything is not good for your lungs. But there's nothing in cannabis specifically that is like dangerous to us that could kill you. Unlike some of these other medications that they want to give these patients before they give them access to cannabis. So this isn't something to be celebrated at all. Well, it's good, look, they're going to fund it finally, but look, they need to widen the spectrum of conditions that are allowed access to it. And we need to be allowing people here in Ireland access to licenses to be growing and producing and processing this cannabis and these medicines and the different products for these patients out there with all the different conditions, specifically chronic pain. Chronic pain is the most important one to be addressed there, and until that's addressed, like, geez, I pity the fool who celebrates this, because it's a joke. It really is a joke, to be honest. Like, the thing needs to be to just scrap it, and the prohibition of cannabis, just drop it. Just drop it after, and educate our doctors, educate the health professionals, and allow people who understand this cannabis and the medicines, the products that come from it, to work with it. For crying out loud. All right, let's bring it back down. Plants over pills, yeah, exactly, Eleanor. And Podge says, happy Friday all, and keep her lit. Hope you're good, Martin. I'm very good, Podge. Nice on there for that. Other news, guys, coming in there from Ireland, which is that the revenue have seized €32,000 worth of drugs at the Dublin Mail Centre. So again, busy out up there, and a complete wasted bloody time again. €32,000 worth of cannabis, so it's just over 1.5 kilos of cannabis, and it includes cannabis-infused jelly sweets also. And these were recovered there with the assistance of drug dog Sam and Bailey also. We've met Bailey before, but here's drug dog Sam. Sam's a fine old canine, but unfortunately his human masters have been misusing his incredible skills, i.e. his amazing little nose he has there. They've trained him to smell out a terpene within the cannabis plant, and therefore they're just kind of abusing the poor old dog, and they're making him find this, so that the poor dog is made him find this. These are the drugs. Oh my God, guys, run for the hills, because there's going to be cannabis there that's going to kill you or something. It's so bad that we have to waste the life of this poor bloody dog. Poor dog, like, come on, like, he just wants a belly rub and some treats, as I say, like, free the drug dogs. That's the campaign, free the drug dogs. Apologies there for the beeping phone, my bad. I'll mute that. But really, like, it's a joke, like, that these guys are the dog's serving time, misusing his skills. She out there sniffing out bombs or something. What a joke. So these drugs are going to be destroyed. People who are going to, be who they were destined to. Unfortunately, guys, your cannabis isn't coming. Your jellies ain't going to arrive. What a heartbreaker for you. The drugs that were seized, they were in parcels that were sent to the addresses. So guys, if you are in Dublin, Offaly, Kilkenny, Clare or Kildare, sorry guys, your packages have been seized. But if you do think that they were taken by mistake, guys, you can ring revenue and have an argument there with them if you think it was CBD only, maybe. But yeah, bye-bye packages. Other news there, guys, sticking within Ireland also. This is coming from Turloughmore, and there was cocaine and cannabis seized after Gardaí carried out a search of a house and also a field, because the lads in the gaff took a run across the field. So this was in Galway, I believe, Turloughmore is, and there was €122,000 in cannabis herbs seized, and cocaine also. So the drugs the drugs and the cash were recovered at the house and field at around 5:30 yesterday evening. And during the search of the house, there was €28,000 worth of cocaine found and 10,000 worth of cannabis found. And then there was another 4,000 in cash, weighing scales, mixing agent. And it doesn't say what the mixing agent is, actually. I'd be curious as to what the mixing agent was. Was it T-Dex? Was it flour? Was it bloody what? What are they using there? This is information that's worthwhile getting out there to people who consume this stuff. Like, what was your man mixing with it? Because people might know who this was and what they were getting off him. And it's good to know, like, what the guy is mixing the stuff with. You see here on, I don't know that I included a photo here on this file. But you can see on a photo here the whole lot of the stuff that he has for it. Just quite an amount of it. So I'm just going to pop it up here just so you can see it. And hopefully I'm able to do this live there. Hopefully that's working there for you. But there you go. Like you see, he has probably the cocaine in the creatine pouch or packets up there in the top left. But in the bottom left of the photo, you see kind of the red press there. That's a bit of a hydraulic press. And that I would imagine for mixing cocaine and pressing it back or something. That's what I think he'd be doing with it anyway. Pressing bulks of cocaine. I'm not too sure. So he's mixing it up, pressing it back together to make it look like rock cocaine. I don't know anyway. Again, I don't know enough about cocaine. I should probably just shut up. But like, what a waste of time at Gardaí. And the biggest thing that part of this story was that your man took a run across the field. And when he was running across the field, he ditched a load of cocaine. So he ditched, there was 84,000 worth of cocaine he ditched while he was running across the field. That's a lot of cocaine. Now, that's street value. So maybe it was worth 20,000 to your man. I don't know what the cocaine was worth. But guys, just think about it for a second. You're a cop. You're running across the field. You're chasing your man. He's ditching a load of fucking cocaine, whatever. Like. But what's stopping that fella from turning around with a gun or something and just popping off a couple of shots at that guard? Like I could be reporting on a very different story here today, where we could be reporting on the loss of a life of a member of the Gardaí again. You know, like this stuff does happen. There is a realistic scenario to be talking about. The fact that these people who engage in this activity out there, they're criminals, and sadly, they are willing to use violence to protect their trade, I suppose, to protect their products. We heard about it, with people being intimidated at the doorstep to be paying the debts of their grandson or something like that. You know, all of this kind of carry on. So there's something, again, it's all prohibition. Like, as soon as we do away with prohibition, this kind of carry on just really goes away. You know, you don't really, like, outside of the lockdown now, where we're seeing these shebeens or skebeens, whatever they call them, being set up where it's like speakeasies almost for alcohol again, where people are gathering in these little makeshift pubs, and you know, it's against COVID regulations. But again, you know, when the guards show up there, you know, it's like, lads, we're caught. Fair enough. You know, everybody's handing themselves in. But it could be a very different situation if it was cocaine, you know, and it was a place where people were breaking up and mixing cocaine, you know, and there was guns present. This is prohibition. Like, as soon as we do a prohibition, life is going to be a lot better for our Gardaí and our communities. Comment coming in there, saying from Onshore Fudge, he says, I'd love to know the mix of powder here. Imported medicine, I've heard here. Looks like crystal, but it is made for constipation. Ouch. I know it's used in France for sure. I would have the same curiosity as you. I would very much love to know what's being used out there as mixing agents in the different cocaine samples and other kind of powder like drugs like crystal MDMA and stuff like that, and even the ecstasy pills. Geez, so many questions. There's so much curiosity about these kind of unregulated drugs and what's within them. But look, it is what it is. It's all about prohibition, really. Until we get rid of prohibition, we're never really going to understand it, because the Gardaí just destroy them. They just send it to the Forensic Science Ireland. Is that ecstasy? Yeah, it's ecstasy. Grand, destroy that there, and we're going to criminalise your man. But there was a rat poison in there as well, and there was this and there was that. We don't really care. We just want to know if there was ecstasy so we can criminalise your man. And that's it. That's really the reality of the situation. Importal is the mixing agent there. Sorry, I thought you said imported. Importal is the medicine. That's that your Monsieur Fudge was mentioning there. That's been mixed. and it's constipation medicine. And remember, I was on about the case of Jerry Ryan. You all probably know Jerry Ryan, and he was kind of a famous radio presenter here in Ireland, but he died of a heart attack, I believe it was. But he had cocaine and in his system, and also he was found to have like different veterinary kind of medicines in there, and they were contaminants within the cocaine he was getting. And he's high up. He's a well-to-do dude. He wasn't getting cocaine down the back street alley anyway. That's to say, I definitely say he was paying a premium for his product, and he was still getting bloody vet medicine inside there. Like, so, geez, guys, I'd hate to see what you're getting on the street when you're not really well known like Jerry Ryan was. But anyhow, we drive on, and other news out there, guys. It's Gardaí. And I reported on Gardaí on Wednesday that they're setting up Snapchat accounts. It seems now that they're getting bloody free travel passes or something. The Gardaí are clamping down as increases in people off their heads travelling to buy drugs. This was a headline there on one of the articles. Pure discriminatory against people who use drugs and have to use public transport because a lot of them don't be off their heads. Sadly, you know, we really don't. I know a lot of people currently who are using public transport because if they go and pick up cannabis in different places, they don't be off their heads. You know, so like I think it's very discriminatory, derogatory towards drug users. Again, drug using communities out there off their heads. Come off the stage, like in fairness, like, but it is a common term to be used about people. And don't get me wrong, there probably is people out there using public transport who are off their heads, you know what I mean, like just really dissociated. But these are people who probably have mental health problems, you know. Really, that's the only way of seeing it, you know. If there's a person in a situation like that where they're just abusing their themselves and their life with whatever substance it might be. It could be alcohol, it could be heroin, it could be whatever it is, you know, Smarties, who knows, whatever your drug of choice be. It mightn't even be a drug, it could be gambling, you know, it could literally just be gambling. It could be, people have sex addictions. Addictions come in all sorts of different things for different reasons too. But again, like we see it here, headlines just trying to discriminate against people in the drug using community who have to use public transport. And unfortunately now the public transport services here in Ireland, i.e. Meta Éireann, is it Meta Éireann? No, that's our weather guys actually. Éireann, Rud Éireann. Geez, what a sausage I am. Not our weather guys. It's the Éireann, Rud Éireann. The train guys, they're after informing Gardaí now of these problematic services where people are travelling off their heads, as they're saying, to buy drugs. So warning there to anybody out there, just be cautious on the trains, because you could be stopped and searched, like, because unfortunately Gardaí abuse these powers all the time. And if you look a certain way, if you look like you're a person travelling to buy drugs, the guard can literally just come up and say, I want to search you under the Misuse of Drugs Act, Section 3, I believe you have drugs on you because you're acting suspiciously. Your hands are in your pockets, and that's suspicious to me. That's a valid reason, guys, and the guard can do that to anybody they wish. Anybody at all. They can literally just come up, the Misuse of Drugs Act, I'm going to search you, and it's up to you then whether you challenge them or not and try to invoke your rights and be like, well, what do you mean I'm acting suspiciously? Like, I've been in this situation before. And guys, I tell you, in my experience, like those guards will get aggressive. That they don't like you challenging them. They really don't like it. So word of warning, like, I'm not trying to scare you guys. 100%, if you got the balls for it, like, challenge them, to stand your ground. If you're walking down the road and a cop comes and wants to search you and you're like, what the hell am I doing? Challenge them. Like, don't give in. Like, just challenge them as much as you can and see what happens, you know. But if they get aggressive and stuff, like, you know, there comes a point, maybe get out your phone and record the whole affair. Like you use your rights, guys. Don't let them invade your privacy. Like they intend to here now on Éireann, Rud Éireann. So just be warned, guys. And just possibly buses as well. That'll be targeted in this as well. So other news, guys. So while our Gardaí are wasting time, ruining, like, literally just going taking people's drugs that they've travelled on. There was a story from Charleville where a fella got stopped and searched on the bus there as well. But now there's another one here where, like, this fella got kicked out of his home because he ordered just over a kilo worth of cannabis online to the house, and there was a controlled delivery carried out then in association with this order. So this was a young fella. He was only 22, young enough, like, and his name is Anthony MacDonald, and he was arrested after custom officials intercepted a package containing the drugs which he had ordered online under the name Mr. Smith. MacDonald of Eamon Street in Dublin pleaded guilty at and sorry for reading out your address there actually, at Dublin Circuit Criminal Court to possession of cannabis for the sale and supply at his former address, and that's his former address. I'm not even going to read that one out. And this was a case going back to August 24th, 2019. So it's like over, geez, what's that, a year and a half? A year and a half, like this 22-year-old. And I only having to deal with family fucking issues because of it. But a year and a half, he's waiting to see what the outcome is of this bloody case for over a kilo worth of cannabis. So Garda Peters told the whoever, the prosecuting, that the custom officials intercepted the package which had been ordered from the United States, and the package was to be delivered to his home address to a Mr. Smith. And under the controlled the delivery then on the date, the Gardaí set up where a Garda posed as the delivery man and brought the package to the address, and McDonald signed for the package as Mr. Smith and was arrested. The drugs totaled 24,000, and in the interview, Mr. McDonald admitted to ordering the drugs online, and it only cost him, he hoped to make €7,000, actually, he said here. He doesn't give how much it cost him at all when he bought the cannabis, but what he's saying is he hoped to make €7,000 from this. At least he was being honest, like, look, yeah, I hope to make a bit of money, I'm smart, look, it was online. The ounce or the kilo probably cost them, what would a kilo cost you online? Maybe somewhere between 6 and 10,000, let's say, depending on where you're buying it and what your source is, whether you're getting a good deal or not. And yeah, he hoped to make 7,000, so he was probably selling the ounces off. He might have been doing good deals, in fairness, like €300 ounces there or something. Happy fucking days. And he was going to make about $7,000 from it. Hopefully the cannabis was well grown and stuff like this. But look, this is prohibition. This is how people are going to get it. And unfortunately, this young man, like, what a disaster, like. So in this case there, his client was living with his mother at the time, and she threw him out after the offence. He agreed Mr. McDonald became homeless for a time and now lives in a hostel type accommodation. So is he still living there like a year and a half later? Has the relationship been fixed with his mother? Man, what a heartbreaker! Like, because of cannabis, like relationships within families just gone, snapped, smashed. Because like sadly some people really are brainwashed as to the cannabis. Oh, it's so bad, it's so dangerous. Like, man, what a heartbreaker! Like, that's really horrible to see. Like, the Garda agreed with the council that his client was a decent enough young lad, whatever that bloody means. Like, come on, the guy bought a bit of cannabis. Like, he was probably entrepreneurial, thinking, all right, I invest a bit of money here, a bit of time selling it, and I make $7,000. Happy days. I need $7,000 because maybe he wanted to go to college or something. Maybe he was in college. I'm not too sure what his situation is. Well, if he was in college, it probably would have been said here. But Mr. Kelly described the purchasing of herbal cannabis over the internet as the most middle class of interests, and that's something that smacks of organised criminality. Really, it doesn't smack of organised criminality. So organised criminals don't buy drugs online. Come off the stage, you feckin' sausages. Like, I don't understand that. Council said his client had completed a detox program for benzodiazepines and is on the waiting list for a place in a residential treatment centre. He said his client's relationship with his mother is improving as he addresses his drug taking. Judge Pauline Codd remanded McDonald on continuing bail and adjourned the matter for finalisation on the 4th of May. So this is a young fella who got caught back in August, was it? August 2019, I said it was. Yeah, August 2019 he got caught, and it's not going to be finalised now until May 2021. For a bit of cannabis. Come on, a kilo of cannabis. In all fairness, he would have had it sold in a week or two. A week or two. It would have been all up in smoke. Literally, it would have been up in smoke. It would have been nobody's problem at all. Unless the guy was spraying her or something, then he's a scumbag. But I don't think he was. There's no indication that he was. So he was just a guy trying to make a bit of money. And a decent enough young lad at that. Oh man, if guys, this is just horrible, man. I hate reading on this because, like, a breakdown in a relationship between, like, mother and son, like, that's horrible. I've been there, really. Like, my mum didn't like the fact of guards arriving at my front door. That was the biggest problem. Like, oh, what are the neighbours going to think? That was a big issue. It really was a big issue. And I was close to being in this situation where there was just real wedge being put between me and family members because of like just the criminal aspect of it. It wasn't even the drug using aspect of it. My cannabis use wasn't really problematic. It was the getting caught with it. It was the real problem. That was the real joke. So yeah, I can really relate to this story. Other news, guys. Philip Anthony Bevington. He was on the show before, and shout out to him at the moment, because I hope you're doing well out there. At least his case is now over, so his interview is up online if you haven't seen it before. I was hoping to get him on to a few comments for today, but I was just really busy myself making a beautiful dinner. But he was, I don't know, it was an online case today where he was like, oh yeah, the caption on YouTube, guys, sorry, my bad, I forgot to change it because I ended up putting it in the description just instead, so I got distracted on the description. But anyway, back to the comments, or back to the headline. Philip Anthony Bevington, he got caught back in, was it October 2 years ago actually, October 2019, I believe, with 26 cannabis plants, and he was growing those cannabis plants because he's got a stage 4 kidney disease. Basically, it's kind of terminal. It's gonna see him out. That's gonna be the cause of this man dying, and he's trying to just improve his quality of life by reducing the pain associated with his condition. And he was also optimistic that the cannabis and the improved lifestyle cannabis was giving him would have improved his blood markers, or his condition, might have improved. And it was actually, to be honest, from my communicating with him, his condition has and was improving. There was a time there where it dipped because of stress to do with the case. But again, cannabis was doing this man incredible good, and the cops, the authorities, come and took it away. He's now since got a prescription to get it privately, and it's all above board, but he used to pay a pile of feckin' money for it, and he could have grown it himself, and he was quite happy in doing so, I suppose, until there was a proper efficient avenue, a cheaper avenue than what's currently available to him, because he's the fundraise for it currently. It's ridiculous that so many patients have to fundraise for it. The NHS still don't prescribe it. So he's after getting a 2-year suspended sentence anyway for his crime of growing cannabis plants to ease his pain. So I think that's an atrocious outcome to it. He should have got nothing. That case should have been thrown out, and a warning sent to the government that something needs to be done here, because the judges should be sick of this by now. But no, the judge is happy to hand out a 2-year suspended sentence to an 80-year-old man. An 80-year-old man. That 2-year suspended sentence potentially could hang over this man for the rest of his life, he's 80. I really hope that the man lives to see 90 or even 100, but the prognosis for his condition is it's not good, and that's just being honest. So potentially that's a life sentence suspended, and if he sneezes wrong, do you know what I mean? Current restrictions, maybe, he goes out without a face mask or something. I don't know what could end up in prison, but at the back of his mind now, that's always going to be there, a suspended sentence. But really well done to him anyway, because he's now vowed to giving the rest of his life, he's dedicating it to correcting this wrong, this injustice. So really well done to Philip Anthony Bevington. Really look forward to getting Tony back on here to have a conversation about this, because I want to help him and carry that message out there of the wrongdoing that was done to him, and the need for patients like himself to be able to grow and get access to cannabis in a more efficient way. So in other news there, guys, as well, and I don't have a headline there for this, and it's that I've reported on a number of times already, and it's that Brexit caused an issue there for the kids in the UK, where they were cut off access to their cannabis medicines. So they've now been granted a 6-month window where they can still get access to the medicines from Bedrocan in Holland. So congratulations there to everybody involved in that campaign, but that's only a 6-month window. Come June or July, whenever that window is closed again, they're back in a situation again. But hopefully within that 6 months, there's some sort of a transition could be worked on, where they can get access to maybe the exact same medication just in Britain now. But currently, look, they have a 6-month window, so that's really good news for myself to be reporting to yourselves again out there. So well done to everybody involved in that campaign to get that done. And again, nice one there to knowledge is power. They're giving me a heads up on the caption. My bad. I'll update that later. Time traveling. Other news, guys, and is a 76-year-old man was arrested with 36 kilos of cannabis, and this is news coming from Australia. And this was the police patrolling the Pacific Highway along Australia's central east coast, where they were taken by surprise when they stopped a 76-year-old man at 2:15 in the morning. This was last Saturday, almost a week ago. And within the car, they found 75 little bags of cannabis filled. And in the boot of the vehicle, then they found another bigger bag of cannabis. So in total, they found 36 kilos of cannabis here. And it's a 76-year-old man. Like, fair play to him. Like, I wonder what he was up to with it. Like, a 76-year-old cannabis dealer. Happy days, man. Good stuff, man. Like, yeah, like, there's no retirement there, it seems. That's unfortunate, but well done, man. I hope you don't get punished too harshly in this, but it seems like he was refused bail. For what reason? Like, why did you refuse the man bail? Like, he got caught with a bloody bit of cannabis. He's 76 years of age. What the hell? Like, it's cannabis. Come on, just legalize it already. Like, it's the politician's fault. He's 76. Like, I know age isn't like, oh yeah, you would go on out there and commit crimes, but in fairness, it's cannabis. It's amazingly beneficial. I wonder, was he heading down to a group of elderly people that he was looking after, like maybe as a senior care group that he was caring for, maybe that cannabis was destined for oil. I'm not too sure. Maybe the dude was just a 76-year-old cannabis fucking hustler, as people are saying. Like fair play to him. Like 76 and hustling. Like, yeah, man, rock it on. Testament to cannabis. Like, other news there, guys, and this is an annoying one actually. It was cannabis helped a man's depression, but a raid in his house then destroyed his marriage. So there was a man that was using cannabis to help eat. He caused X, Y, and Z, but man, that's a lot of nonsense. To each their own. Cannabis can cause that stuff. So for some people, for other people, man, it can help their depression. In fairness. So the man turned to cannabis to help his depression, but the resultant police raid on his home finished his marriage, a court has heard. James Barton used a Class B drug, and this is over in the UK, guys, and instead of prescribed medication, which had unpleasant side effects for him. And that's a very valid concern. Again, like our own conditions here in Ireland is that you have to exhaust the current therapies available to people. It seems he was trying. He tried the current therapies. It wasn't working for him. It was unpleasant. It had bad side effects. Cannabis was more beneficial. Unfortunately, no, the Leicestershire police raided his family home then last year, and that was the final straw for his wife, and she had to bunk him. And a heartbreaker, man, because like, I don't know, did they have kids here involved in this, but like a family home. His marriage was already in a bit of trouble, maybe to do with his depression and stuff like that. But once the raid came up, no, the wife, that's it, get out of my house. Like, he'd been married for 16 years, and he had a history with drugs, but this is a slightly different nature to that previous conviction. Whatever that means, I'm not too sure what it means by he's a history with drugs. Maybe he got caught with cannabis before. They don't really clarify it within here, but it says he is doing a business and administration course and is trying to better himself. But despite this, yeah, he still lost his wife, and man, you're depressed and you lose your wife, man. That's not a good situation to find yourself in. The court then only fined him £120 in order to pay a prosecution cost of £85 and a victim surcharge of £34. How much cannabis was he actually caught with? Did I say? No, it doesn't say. Oh, he had 4 cannabis spliffs stored in a bag in his garage. Officers found the bag and found a grinder with the remnants of cannabis on it and 4 jars which had cannabis in them. And he said that he had cannabis for his own personal use. So 4 jars of cannabis. Doesn't say how much the cannabis was worth at all. But 4 jars of cannabis, I can only imagine what that might have been, about maybe a quarter and an ounce in each jar. Maybe it was 4 different strains of cannabis. Man, what a shame, again, to be reporting on this kind of a story. Because if cannabis was legal, the cops wouldn't be raiding his house and he'd be more able to focus on his marriage. But no, prohibition destroying marriages. Well done, prohibition and the prohibitionists out there. Drugs didn't do this. this prohibition. Anyhow, dispensaries in Massachusetts raid. So I'll get back to this one in a little while, because the next headline actually should have read the results from a French online survey. And I talked about this about a week or two ago, that the French government launched an online survey to kind of get the public's opinions towards cannabis legalization. And it proved very well. So I have some of the results here for you. So within that, within some of the more kind of I don't know, what would you say, conservative? I don't know. They say Republican here, whatever that means. But within the areas that they expected to have like some of the more negative opinions towards cannabis legalization, they found 50% of the people within like the Republican quarters of Paris in favor of cannabis decriminalization. Anyway, this is what decriminalization is the wording they used here. 22% were against, and 28% said they needed more information to make a decision on it. And that's fair enough, but like 50%, that's a very large number, and only 22% against. Because the cannabis legalization needs to happen. The public are in favour of it, no matter where you look at it. Across the board here, it seemed like there was an overwhelming positive response to the cannabis legalization within this survey. So it seems like possibly within the next year or two, France could have a bill there to decriminalise cannabis use, and maybe to allow something like Spain and their models of cannabis clubs. I'm not too sure what a model might look like within France. It could be completely different. It could be their own unique thing. But like the decriminalisation, it seems like, is inevitable across the world anyway. Like the outcome, it just really seems the trend is heading that way. And hopefully, look, there seems a resistance here in Ireland, but hopefully that will change. So onwards we go from France, and we head on over, and why is the same bloody man I must have made a few doozies here as I was preparing for the show, because the headline here should have read the New Zealand have basically they called off an annual search that normally takes place that where they go take to the skies in helicopters with the customs and the kind of I think the army and everything get involved in this, and they use the hunt, and the headline says Cannabis Dens, and I hate when they use this that Cannabis Dens, because dens are for lions. Cannabis farms, cannabis farm, that's it. Like, it's a cannabis farm, that's it. What's a den? A den is for a lion. You know, a kennel is for a dog, a coop is for a chicken, a den is for a lion. It's not for cannabis. Like, cannabis dens, man, it's just more stigma, discrimination. It's just trying to demonize it. But imagine how much money. I think it costs like somewhere between like 5,000 to 12,000 to launch helicopters and the crews and all of this stuff. Man, what a waste of money. New Zealand had an opportunity there to legalise it and to make money off it, but it seems that unfortunately, they didn't do it. But it seems common sense is prevailing, because they've called off now this year's annual hunt, which is going on since the 1970s, apparently. So it's a long-standing tradition there, where they're out there looking for people growing cannabis. Yeah, well done to the people there in New Zealand who've kind of campaigned or whatever, have been involved in seeing this to be called off. Hopefully it wasn't just down to budgetary restrictions. Hopefully it was actually because somebody said, hey, come here, let's not waste any money looking for cannabis anymore. Hopefully, anyway. But anyhow, other news, guys, we drive on from New Zealand then, and hopefully the headline is correct on this next one. What the hell is going on here? The same bloody headline keeps coming up for all of these. Oh, man. The next headline should have been the White House has granted clemency to 12 people serving sentences for cannabis offences, and this is a part of Trump as he was leaving. So this was early Wednesday morning, with only hours to go before ex-president now, Donald Trump, who, again, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump at all, but ex-president Donald Trump, who now is gone from the White House, he pardoned 74 people and commuted the sentences of 70 others. And within that, then, there was 12 people who were serving sentences for cannabis offences. 10 of those people were serving life sentences. And a number of those people within that then were working with the Last Prisoner Project, which is a project set up there in America that is campaigning to free all of the cannabis prisoners over there. So well done to them in helping this. And I really hope this is of more good things to come from the White House with Biden now going in there and Kamala Harris. I really hope, like, I think it says here that there's over 40,000 prisoners still remaining in prison in the US for cannabis-related offences. So I really hope by this time next year, a good 3/4 of those, if not all of them, have been released for those cannabis-related offences. None of them deserve to be there for any cannabis-related crimes. I don't care how much cannabis they had. They don't deserve to be in prison. Cannabis prohibition is the crime, not cannabis possession, not cannabis dealing. Cannabis prohibition is the real crime, and it's the real destroying it's the real fuel to destruction within our society. Not drugs, cannabis prohibition. So some of the people here that were pardoned within this, one of them, Jonathan Braun. Braun was importing cannabis worth approximately $1.76 billion from 2008 to 2010, according to the Customs and Borders Protections documents, including £2,200 in a single incident. He pleaded guilty in 2011, served 5 years of a 10-year sentence for conspiracy to import cannabis and to commit money laundering. Trump commuted his sentence. Brian Simmons, Trump commuted his sentence also, and he has served 5 years of a 15-year sentence for a non-violent conspiracy to manufacture and distribute cannabis. Another person, Noah Kleinman, President Trump, ex-President Trump, commuted the sentence of Noah Kaiman, who is a 45-year-old father of 2 children. The mother of his children, unfortunately, has passed away during his time in prison, and he has served 6 years of a nearly 20-year sentence for a non-violent crime to distribute cannabis. He has an exemplary prison history and has worked to remain close to his children and his father. Upon release, he looks forward to living with his father, working for his family business and caring for his children. James Romans then finally is another one of these cannabis prisoners that were have benefited ex-President Trump, commuted his sentence, and Mr. Romans is a father and a grandfather who received a life sentence without a parole for his involvement in a conspiracy to distribute cannabis. Mr. Romans has had an exemplary and disciplinary record for the more than 10 years he has served. 10 years in prison, man, what a heartbreaker for cannabis. He has already secured job opportunities that will help him successfully re-enter society. So that's just a few of the people there within that like lengthy sentences these people are serving. Man, it's harsh. And then the next news kind of feeds into that. Is the headline right? No, it's not. What the hell is going on here? Like, in fairness, the dispensaries. Oh man, I don't know what happened to all of those headlines, but this one should say Jay-Z joins the push to boost minority-owned cannabis businesses. And this is because Jay-Z, the rapper, he has created a $10 million fund for startups, saying people of color have missed out on the cannabis boom. And he's referring to the fact that people of color, black people and Hispanics and all of these people have been they've been punished much more than white people. And then you look at the cannabis industry currently in America, where it's legal. It's by and large a lot of white people. There's very little black people being represented within there. So there's a lot of efforts there now to provide equity for these people, to get in on the cannabis boom, as they're calling it here. So well done there to Jay-Z, and I hope there's going to be lots of people who benefit from that. Other news, and I'm going to get to this one eventually, guys. It's not this. What in the name of heavens is going on out there? No, it's not that either. Anyway, This headline should say cannabis helps fund $31.4 million in state grants to groups helping poor communities. So meanwhile here in Ireland, while we have our guards going, setting up Snapchat accounts and going on the bus and the trains to catch the drug dealers, over in states where common sense has prevailed, coming again from Illinois that I reported on the other day, 31.4 million of the 62 million I reported on is going to directly to help poor communities. Amazing, like happy days. 31.4 million. Imagine what that can be done. This was in the form of state grants to different groups helping these poor communities. The grants, which go to 81 community organisations, result from the law legalising adult cannabis use in Illinois. It requires 25% of the cannabis taxes to go to help communities suffering from economic disinvestment, violence, and the multi-layered harm of the disparate weed enforcement. The Cannabis Regulation Act that legalised cannabis use in Illinois was enacted in January 1st, 2020, and this is how much money it's already made. Guys, it's about time. Do it already. Like, Ireland really fucking needs it. Like, we don't need more guards on Snapchat. Get them off Snapchat. Like, this is the last place we need guards. Heck's sake. Unless they're going after the pedos out there, like, but no, they're going after drug dealers. They're not going after the pedos. And finally, I get to it, guys. Dispensaries in Massachusetts that are suing the Cannabis Control Commission over new delivery license regulations. Basically, they're suing the commission because they're saying that the new license is it's in violation of the state regulations. That the dispensaries should be allowed to deliver the cannabis, but what the Cannabis Control Commission are saying is no. They want to provide equity to the people who've been most affected by the war on drugs and are like disimpoverished and things like that. But sadly, what it seems is that of 986 applications put in for these delivery licenses, only 53 of them actually fit the criteria for this kind of equity thing that they're trying to do to help the people who've been punished by the laws. So I'm not too sure again what the story is there, but it is something to be pointed out. So the dispensaries now are suing them, saying, hey, look, we want to be able to deliver our own cannabis. And again, they can hire these people to do the deliveries for them, but what they're saying is no, they don't want these people to set up their own delivery firms or businesses to be the cannabis courier. So it's problematic there. So it seems that legalization has a bit of work to be done even after it happens. But look, it's better to have it than not have it. Isn't it better that they're suing them for this rather than actually the guys coming and raiding them and taking their cannabis away? So happy days that these are the kind of headlines now that are coming out, and I hope that whole dispute is sorted out over there. So guys, I have a meeting to go to. I should have been at 10 minutes ago. Sorry, this Friday meeting at 5 o'clock is killing me. Hopefully it changes. But before I go, guys, thanks very much to everybody out there, because I see a lot of really amazing comments coming in. I see some I see some spam coming in there as well. Fucking spam from Mohammed. I think it was spam anyway. But anyhow, we won't be reading out your spam, Mohammed. Bye. So comments coming in there. We have Barry and Terry. Barry says, where can you buy cannabis seeds, man? Attitude Seed Bank, Sensei Seeds, Barney Seeds, Dutch Passion, DNA Genetics, Reserva Privada. The list goes on. Terry says, hi Martin, hope you're well. Nice one, Terry, hope you're good too. I'm very good. Sean says, hello Martin, have a good Friday. Smoke 'em up. Guys, I hope you're all blazed out there. And if not, I hope you have a good reason for not being blazed. Monsieur Fudge, he says, I read out that comment from yourself earlier, Monsieur. Nice one again for your comment, man. And Eleanor says, more people on prescription mind-altering meds on public transport than doing illegal drugs. You're 100% right there, actually. And I've definitely seen those people. But again, I'm not judgmental towards them, you know what I mean? I don't want the guards to be on the bus, to be taking these people off the bus and bringing them to the hospital or something. No, I don't want guards targeting them unless they're really being problematic. But again, discrimination to drug users, as it always is. Other comments coming in, plants over pills, coming in from Eleanor there as well. Keith says, "What's up, Martin?" Nice on Keith. Eleanor adds in, cannabis balm is great for eczema. Oh, excuse me, guys. Woo. As I said, I had a lovely dinner there before I started the show. Cannabis balm is great for your eczema, skin issues. If you can avoid steroids, use a cannabis treatment. It could change the way we treat skin conditions. Nice one there for that. And I'd imagine that's coming from experience. And I know other people who have eczema, and they've used different things, including CBD balms, and they had good benefits. But I think the THC actually is very good for relieving the itching and that sensation, the tingling and stuff that can go with it. So yeah, it's certainly cannabis is an amazing beneficial thing for rubbing onto your skin. It's not just good for sticking in a pipe. Terry says, "Hope I'm well. I'm very good, Terry. I hope you're good too." Sean adds in, "Hello, Martin. Have a good Friday and smoke 'em up." I will indeed. Other comments coming in there. He says, "Monsieur Fudge." He says, "Sam the sniffer dog. My pup hunts my lost doobs." Hey, go on, you're a good doggy. It'd be decent actually to have a dog that could sniff out. You remember before years ago, and you dropped a small nodge of hash, and you're like, "Oh shit!" And you're all going around the floor with the flashlight looking for the tiniest nodge of hash, because it's literally a nodge for a joint, but it's the last one you got, and you gotta find it like. And you're finding every fucking pebble on the floor before you find a nodge, and sometimes you don't find a nodge. Be decent to have the drug dog then, wouldn't it? In fact, I'll probably eat it. Other comments coming in there, coming in from Knowledge is Power was telling me about the caption. It was reading Wednesday, but it should said Friday. My bad. I'll update that. Kitmar says, "How are you, Martin? Hope you're well." I'm very good. And other comments, "Happy Houyse." Yay, happy Houyse. It's Friday, and that comes in from Miss Dowes. Nice one for the comment there, Miss Dowes. And we're flying through the comments here, guys, getting to the end of them. Didn't even think of the Brexit medical style. Best wishes to all involved. Great info, and that's coming in from Monsieur Fudge. Nice one again for your comments. And as always, I tried to get the best info I can to get it out to you and compress it into as short a show as I can. We're closing in on the hour there, but we'll get this done. Knowledge is Power adds in, "Cannabis would take anyone out of retirement. Imagine the experience farmers like Houyse would bring if it was legal." Yeah, 100%. I would love to see what so sad to see the results of the vote in New Zealand. Imagine if that happened here. I'd be devastated. It was so close. It was 49 against 51. Surely that's enough anyway to do something about it. It's like 49% of the voters were in favour of it. Man, that's a win. I know it's a loss, but it's like it's so close. It's like something has to be done. All right, don't legalize it. Decriminalize it at least, or something. We have to do something. 49% of people wanted it. That's a lot. Darren T says, "They will never get out. Kamala put them there." Yeah, 100%. It'll be interesting. I agree with you there in a certain sense. Kamala, her past was she was a prosecutor or something like that there, so she put a lot of people in prison. But I hope her first thing is to get them out of there. Maybe she'll do something. I don't know. I'm optimistic anyway, but it seems Darren T is not. Teresa adds in, "Was watching your podcast with Natalie and missed the start. We'll watch back later." Nice one for that, Teresa. I hope you enjoyed that conversation, guys. There's a new podcast up there with Natalie O'Regan. It's based around the stigma of cannabis, but we talked about a whole lot around cannabis there as well. Knowledge is Power adds in, "A good trend to see is US presidents pardoning prisoners locked up for drug-related crimes. On Obama's last day, he pardoned 330 prisoners. No federal decriminalization for personal possession." Nice one there for that, adding in on Obama's last days. I wonder how many of those were cannabis prisoners, actually. I hope a lot of them anyway. But it seems Trump done 12. I wonder, does Obama beat him? I hope he did. But we'll see. Ken adds in, "Good job, Martin." Nice one, Ken. And Mr. Scooby-Doo adding in there from Twitch. Keep up the good work, and he's a new fan. Nice one there, Mr. Scooby-Doo. Hope you enjoyed this show. I see I have 2 people still watching there over on Twitch. Hoax 2020 adds in, Good Lion Experience is a good smoking podcast in the US. So check that out, guys. Good Lion Experience. That's coming in from Hoax 2020. Haven't checked them out myself, so I will add that to my list. Fiona Fitzgibbon adds in, what did you cook for Dins, Martin? I'll throw up some photos there in a while, guys, if you want. But it was fish in yogurt with a number of herbs and spices, some oregano, some parsley, some allspice, some lovely stuff in there. There was potatoes that were steamed, but I crushed them a bit and then I grilled them. I covered them in butter that was infused with garlic and onions, and topped that with cheese. Like, gave it a nice crispy finish, and mashed the potatoes then as well with a load of butter, basil, some white pepper, and yeah, oh man, lovely. I would eat it all again now, actually. But guys, that's the last of the comments coming in there. Nice one, Martin, coming in from Emmett Bergen. So guys, thanks very much everybody who's tuned in today for the show. It's been absolutely a pleasure to be delivering the 420 news as always, to such a large audience too. I see the numbers are growing every week. So thanks very much, guys. I hope you stick in there with me as the show goes on, as we improve things, as we change things up. But again, I'll be back Monday, next week, 4:20 for some more 420 news, guys. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that good important time, 4:20, guys. So until then, guys, stay blazed and keep her lit. And sorry for making you hungry, Ken.